Computer Science Department of the National University in Manila, and he is currently a master's student of computer science at the De La Salle University. He is also a researcher of the National University Human Language Technology Lab and of the DLSU Center for Language Technologies. His research interests are in readability identification, text classification, and thematic analysis in local Philippine languages. His name is Mr. Joseph Marvin Imperial, and he will give us a talk entitled Yorme Yorme, Understanding COVID-related tweets from Manila City Government Twitter accounts. Before I turn over the stage to him, let me remind the participants that uh, questions should be given at the end of the talk, or they will be entertained at the end of the talk, but you may type in your questions even while the talk is going on. And further, questions will only be accepted until 5 minutes after the talk. So I hope that you would all give us your undivided attention and that we will learn a lot from this talk, which will help us understand the concerns of people when it comes to COVID-related events by using their tweets or the messages that they send in social media. So let me turn you over to Mr. Joseph Marvin Imperial.
Thank you, Doc Maric. Um, Hello, everyone. I hope that you can hear my microphone. Welcome to the second session of the Computing Society of the Philippines and UP Department of Computer Science webinar series. No, so for this session, I will be your speaker for the first part of the session this morning. No, so we'll also have a second session after mine. No, so I will share my research entitled Yorme Yorme, Modeling Themes from COVID-19 Concerns and Public Reports Aired through Manila City Government Twitter accounts. No, so before I um, get to the topic, let me introduce myself. I am Joseph Marvin Imperial. I'm also a faculty at Department of Computer Science, and I'm also the current coordinator of NU Human Language Technology Lab, where we cultivate NLP research or natural language processing research, especially for students' thesis and external projects. No, so aside from that, I'm also an MSCS student at De La Salle University, and I'm also a member of the DLSU Center for Language Technology, or CELT. No, so my research interests are mostly in natural language processing as well as in machine learnings for NLP. So you can visit my site using my personal website using the website shown in the slide. Okay, so this research has already been published as an article in Medium. So you can search, if you have a Medium account, you can search for my story with the exact same title as shown in this slide. No? So basically, we want to answer the question, how can public tweets help in making data-driven decisions, especially for LGUs during in times of the pandemic? No? Before that, the very first inspiration for this research is this video from the New York Times, which is entitled "How China is Reshaping the Coronavirus Narrative." No, so if you have the time after this morning session, you can search for the title in YouTube, and then you can see the video report of the New York Times. No, so this one, the New York Times conducted a research by analyzing thousands of tweets from Chinese state media and official government official accounts of state media and Chinese officials. No? And then they discovered relevant dominant themes on how China wants to project its image internationally or over the world. No? So findings of the report, the first one is spinning optimism. No? Because there are, during the times of the height of the pandemic, for example, last March, February, January, there are videos surfacing online about the patients at Wuhan that there are no hospital beds as well as medicines, no, in contrast to the reports being sent by Chinese state media. So they are trying to spin an optimistic view on how China is effectively solving the coronavirus problems in the country. No? And then the second theme is that they want to protect China's image. These themes are present in the tweets that the New York Times analyzed, and uh, consi- China considers itself as one of the forefront fighters of the pandemic. No, so they don't want to label themselves as the source of the virus, but instead they want to label themselves as the hero of the uh, current pandemic. No? And the third theme that is evident from tweets of Chinese state media and government official accounts is the disputation of the virus's origin. So they don't want Wuhan or China as the source or the target of the backlash of the coronavirus source, but instead they are trying to push disinformation about where the virus came from. No, so an example of this is that they are mistranslating English announcements so that when it comes to China, it doesn't necessarily say that the source is from China itself. No, so they are trying to uh, barricade or to spread some false information so that the source is not China. Okay, so you have here, this is from clips from the video. So you have the spinning optimism, disputing the virus's origin, and then protecting China's image. No, so with that, there is an importance of how we can adopt the analysis of tweets to our context. No, especially in the Philippine context. So we can raise the question: how can the analysis of public tweets help people, or especially the government, in times of the pandemic? Okay. So if we want to, let's say, if we want to look at tweets from government officials, we can see, especially tweets of Mayor Isko Moreno, you can see that there are patterns. No, there are patterns from the tweet replies. So if you look at the example shown in the slide, so these are concerns sent by people of Manila about how the government or the local government of Manila can properly distribute its funds, its relief goods, its resources, etc. No, so here we can try to place out, or we can try to read all the tweets, and then we can aggregate them. No, and then maybe we can form some type of action regarding how these resources, such as the food packs, the donations, the uh, funding, can be properly distributed. No? So as you can see, there are some hashtags, and all of them are directed to Mayor Isko Moreno's Twitter account and to Manila PIO's Twitter account, which is the information disseminator account of the Manila City government. So with that, we can raise some questions, no, that we can answer using research methods. No? So for example, number one, what are the common themes or the common topics that the people of Manila are conveying through COVID-related concerns, sentiments, and reports directed to the Manila City government officials and state media using Twitter replies? No? So what are the themes? What are the topics, or what are the subjects being conveyed? The second one is the co-occurring words. No? So in context of sending these concerns and sentiments, what are the usual words that co-occur or happen with each other? No, so what are the usual words that people are sending when they are trying to uh, deliver sentiments and reports? No, the third one is what information or entities can we extract from these tweets, and how can we um, collect them, and how can we trace them? No, so uh, for example here in the second tweet, there are information that are present in the tweet. No, so for example, sana dito rin sa barangay 786 zone 86 district 5. No, so with that, we already have the information on how target barangays are doing their work. No, so according to the tweet, kahit box ng relief goods wala kami na-receive. So how can we aggregate this information together and then send it to um, their concerned citizens or local officials for action? No? And the fourth one is, how can the results of this research help the LGU of Manila in making data-driven decisions in times of the pandemic? No? So the last question can be answered uh, if we are successful in delivering these results to the concerned group of people, which is the LGU of Manila. Okay, so for the data, for the experiments, a total of 7,405 public tweet replies were collected during a certain time period of March 1 to April 6, no? So these are collected from Mayor Isko's and Manila PIO's official Twitter accounts, and these are mostly replies, no? Mostly replies sent by locals of Manila City based on the preset geographic location while collecting. So during collection, there is already a set coordinates, circular coordinates, where uh, tweets were only being collected if they are sent in the Manila City area. So these tweet replies are different from actual tweets. We are not collecting Mayor Isko's tweet, but instead we are collecting the replies under those posts, under Mayor Isko's Twitter post, no? And if we read the tweets, just to give an overview, most of them are concerns, reports, and sentiments on government actions, no? So we can actually get the themes that are present from them using computational means. And for the data, of course, since this is an NLP-related research, so it has to be pre-processed. For example, stop words removal, non-content words will be removed, case handling for uniformity, and then tokenization. Okay. So for those who are not familiar, the Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno maintains a active Twitter account, no? So with his Twitter account, he actively posts daily activities such as updates on current COVID-related tasks such as distribution, acceptance of donations, etc. No? So the Twitter handle is at Isko Moreno, and you can search this with Twitter. So colloquially and informally, we call him as Yorme. So that's the title of this research, no? So it's just a reversed form of mayor. That's why it's called Yorme, no? So here we see the sample tweets that are usually present in his account. So for example, here, current updates on the distribution of food boxes to each barangay. And then you have here expression of gratitude to other government officials. No? So usually this is the content of Mayor Isko's Twitter account. No? But as you can see here, the tweet replies, you can see that the tweet replies here are somewhat large, no? Large in number, no? So that's what we are going to collect, no? The replies sent by locals of Manila City under his posts, no? And for the second account, we have Manila PIO or Manila Public Information Office, which acts as a official information disseminator for Mayor Isko, no? So this is the account of Manila PIO, and here are the sample tweets under those accounts, no? So as you can see, most of them are complaints, no, reports of some barangay officials, especially for those who are not doing their job. And also some of them are expressing gratitude, no? So for example, the last one, so iba ka talaga mayor, sana lahat ng mayor katulad mo magmahal sa bayan. So the themes are different, no? If we are going to read them one by one. But what we want to do is we want to aggregate all of these tweets and then get the majority topics or themes present with the tweets, no? So by collecting the tweets, you can see here the actual output of the collector. So included in the collection is the tweet itself, of course, as well as the time zones, the time of the publication of the tweet, the date, and then Twitter ID, and then etc. Other information. No? So here we want to protect the identity of the um, Twitter users. That's why we disregarded the username as well as the name of the uh, Twitter users. No, what we only need is the date as well as the uh, tweet itself. No, for processing. Okay, so for the uh, first month, so the collection is just the collection only covers the first month of the lockdown, which is March up to the beginning of April. No, so as you can see here, these are the trend or the influx of the amounts of tweets per uh, time cut off for the month of March. No, so as you can see, there are some trends, there are some spikes in the graph at various intervals. So if we are going to analyze these spikes, we can already see the pattern. No, so for example, March 9 up to March 15, Mayor Isko already declared 1 week suspension due to the rise of the COVID cases in Manila. So as you can see, there is already a spike there, no? Especially for the during the declaration part of the um, date, no? And also starting March 15 up to March 19, so that's the case where the announcement of the total lockdown occurred, no? So we have here total lockdown of Metro Manila. So as we can see, there's also a spike in the amount of replies sent by people of Manila towards the Twitter accounts. No? So we can say that people are somewhat being aggravated, or they are being aggravated because they do not know what's going to happen next. No, and we also see spikes in the middle of the lockdown, um, when the lockdown is implemented, as well as during the extension of the lockdown itself. No. Okay, I'm currently seeing my speaker is kind of choppy. Anyways, okay.
The speaker is good. Your audio is
Ah,
good, Marvin, Mr. Speaker.
okay, okay. Okay, so we can actually pattern this one with the current trends. No, so for example here, uh, the data shows us that the influx or the pattern of replies are quite harmonious with the happenings of in the Philippines. So for example, suspension of the classes, there are spikes. Um, Duterte placing Luzon on the entire Luzon on lockdown. There are spikes in tweets, as well as Duterte extending the lockdown until April 13. No, so with that, it already will give us an overview of how people are reacting to Twitter for each event that has happened. No, so with that, how do we understand these tweets? No, of course, we cannot do that manually. We don't have the time to read them one by one, especially if it's more than 7,000. No, so what we can do though is we can perform computational methods such as thematic analysis, NLP methods such as topic modeling, bigram co-occurrence analysis, if we want to know context words that co-occur with each other, as well as the entity extraction. No, so if we want to lift or extract named entities or information that are present within the data or the collected data itself. So here for the first part of the understanding, so we can use topic modeling as a form of thematic analysis. No, so if for those who don't have a background for NLP, topic modeling is a method for automatic discovery of underlying topics or somewhat themes present in a large body of text. So, for example, if we have a collection of documents, and if we want to understand the main subjects or the main themes that are present within the documents themselves, then we can perform topic modeling, no? So it will give us a representation of the documents without having to read those documents one by one, no? So the intuition behind topic modeling is a document can be composed of several topics, and each topic is a cluster of supporting topic words, no? So a document, a document is about gadgets, no? So for that document, there can be several topics that are at hand. So for example, discussion on the uh, power, its performance, as well as its capabilities, no? And for each topic, it can have a supporting topic word. So for example, in the context of uh, performance, you have supporting topic words such as speed, fast, efficient, etc. No, so these topic models can help us organize and offer insights for us to understand the current data or the our data of tweets. No, so what are um, being talked about, or what are the main subjects of the collected tweets? So it will give us that type of result. No, so here you have um, an example visualization of how topics are extracted from your from the document, no? So for this visualization, you have one document can be composed of several topics, and for each topic you have a cluster of connected topic words, no? So each document is a mixture of topics, and each topic is a distribution of words. However, if we are going to apply the uh, normal process of topic modeling to our data, which are tweets, no, it might not be effective, no, because with tweets we only have 140 to 280 characters. No, it's hardly passable as a document. So a real document is quite large, no. Uh, it's probably more than 280 characters than what we have with tweets, no. So what we can do is we can um, use some other algorithms on topic modeling, which focuses on tweets not as documents but as an aggregated collection of data. No, so we have bi-term topic modeling, uh, in which it focuses on the word pairs instead of tweets being an actual document. No, so bi-term is the unordered word pair co-occurring in a short context. No, so for example, if you have a tweet composed of 3 words, then the corresponding bi-term set is this one, as you can see in the slide, no? So for bi-term topic modeling, or BTM, it directly models the word co-occurrence patterns based on the bi-terms itself, or the bi-terms of the tweets, no? Instead of viewing the tweets, each tweet as an actual document. Okay, so the intuition behind this one, for non-technical people. So for example, if the words Apple, iPhone, and iPad, and app frequently occur with each other in the same context, then we can label them that they belong to the same topic. So for example, Apple company and its product. No, so in the short context, or in the short document text document sample, I visit the Apple store. Usually we remove the stop words, and then we are left with 3 words. No? For example, visit Apple, visit store, and then Apple store. So this is how the tweets will be processed. No, we don't view the tweets as an each document of its own, because tweets hardly have more than one topic, but instead we view them as a collection of by terms. No. Okay, here more on the technical side of the bi-term topic model. So it is a mathematical model which is concerned with the distribution of uh, topic words as well as the topics itself. No? So as you can see, the algorithm is for each topic, which is denoted as Z. So you have to draw a specific topic word distribution, which is controlled by a hyperparameter of what we call beta. No? And for each topic distribution, you also have to draw a certain variable which is controlled by a alpha. So alpha and beta are your hyperparameters that you have to perform some type of tuning or parameter optimization. Actually, no, tuning and then grid search so that you can get the um, correct values, no? So if you can see the plate notation of the bi-term topic model, the data is viewed as a collection of bi-terms, no? You have W1 and WJ sub J as the bi-term set, no? So for every two words or every word that co-occurs with each other, this is directly modeled instead of viewing your tweets as a document, no? So you have um, topic word distribution as well as the topic distribution. So again, the hyperparameters are alpha and beta, and you have to, the challenge here is that you have to um, get the correct value of the alpha and beta so that you can have a distribution or a mixture of topics and then topic words that makes sense, no? So usually this is the challenge in bi-term topic modeling. You have to conduct the experiment again and again until you um, get your right amount of or right mixture of topics and then topic words, no? So usually you have a certain value already as a preset or a default value for these hyperparameters, no? For alpha, usually it's 0.5, 0.05 between 0 and 1, and then for beta, also between 0 and 1, no? So here you can see that the alpha controls the mixture of topics of your data, no? So if you turn the alpha value down, you're assuming that your document has less topics, and if you turn the alpha value up, you're assuming that um, your document has more than or has a significant number of topics, no? The same way with beta, which is for the distribution of words per topic or supporting topic words. So performing BPM on Twitter data, we discovered four major themes that are present, no? And to support these themes, we performed by term analysis, no, or bigram analysis. So this will help us in revealing what words or top words co-occur together when people are tweeting under Mayor Isko's Twitter account, no. So if most of the tweets are, if the theme of the tweets are, let's say, distribution of relief goods, what words usually are present, what words are frequently occurring, and what words co-occur with each other, no? So that is the support of bigram analysis. For BTM implementation, there are many libraries that you can use to model your data. But for this research, we use the original code by Yan and others found in his GitHub account, which you can see in the screen, no? And for bigram analysis, we wrote our own script in Python, and we used NetworkX to visualize the co-occurring bigrams, no? Okay, so now we can see the result of the analysis of or the performance of the uh, bi-term topic model with our data, no? So the first theme present in the collected tweets denotes the distribution of the relief goods for the people, no? So for this theme, I labeled it the needs of the needy because it shows entities that are concerned with the distribution of relief goods as well as some supporting words such as goods, food, natanggap, ayuda, etc. No? So by analyzing the supporting topic words of the theme 1, we can see action words such as tulong, mabigyan, and natanggap. No? And we can also see some entities that are present with the theme, no? Such as chairman and senior. So it already gives us an idea on how we can connect the words together. No? So probably the chairman is responsible for the distribution, of course, and then we should also have to prioritize the seniors um, while distributing these goods. No? So as you can see in the current slide, we have here sample tweets uh, that contains the topic words of the theme, no? So you have their food packs, barangay, bahay, goods, etc. No? And then by conducting bigram analysis, we see the uh, top 10 co-occurring words with some of the words in the theme itself. No? So you have relief, pagkain, mabigyan. So we can see what words co-occur with these words by frequency. No? So we can single out some of them. No? So for relief, it's usually co-occurring with chairman. For pagkain, it usually co-occurs with utang. And then for mabigyan, frontliners and then janitors. No? So this is subject for analysis. No? So with this result, we can say that the word pagkain also co-occurs with utang. This may mean that usually some of the people, uh, the sources of food are usually based on loans or utang, no? So ibig sabihin yata nangungutang yung mga tao kapag nangahanap ng pagkain, no? So that's one analysis of the result, no? The word mabigyan, which is in this context means of getting or receiving relief goods, co-occurs with the entities such as janitor and frontliners. No, so this may suggest that we should not leave out some of the utility persons, especially frontliners and janitors, in providing relief goods. No, so that is the first theme. For the second, we have here when the cat's away, the mice will play. So how did I formulate this topic name? So as you can see here from the topic words, you have here mostly how officials, enforcement such as police, um, chairman, and then their corresponding adjectives such as lumalabag, racist, pasaway, etc. No? So we can see some descriptive words associated with them such as racist. No? So it already tells us how some of our government officials are performing during the time of the pandemic. No? How are they controlling the people? No? So these words may give us an idea on how officials act according to the reports of the um, Manila locals. No? So you have here sample tweets that are collected from Mayor Isko's account. So you can see that most of them are reports, no, reports on how barangay officials are performing uh, based on their barangay. So as you can see, uh, racist police. You can see reports that some of the barangay officials are conducting public drinking in in their corresponding barangay hall and etc. No, and by performing bigram analysis, you can also see some of the top occurring words that are present with each entity. No, so for example, you have police, tanod, and then chairman. So we can see co-occurring words associated with these entities such as abusado, namamalo, and pang-abuso. As well as for chairman, you have their galit and katiwala. No? So it already gives us an idea on how um, some of our barangay chairmans and police are performing during the time of the pandemic. And these are the analysis of the result. So for the entity chairman, words such as relief, bigay, katiwala, galit are associated with that entity. So does it mean that the word chairman is usually uh, in context with the adjective galit? So does it mean that the chairman usually tend to outrage in frustration during these times? So it might help if we have some type of intervention for chairmans in handling for public positions, no? And the third one is the Vico and the tricycles. This one is also prominent, no? So the context behind this is that the Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto was denied of using tricycles to ferry frontliners to far-flung places, no? However, for Manila City Mayor Mayor Isko, he was allowed to use e-tricycles, no? So one of the prominent themes from the collected data is how did Mayor Isko Moreno got away with using e-tricycles while Mayor Vico was investigated, no? So you have here some examples of tweets that are siding with Mayor Vico on why was he not allowed to use tricycles while Mayor Isko was allowed with e-tricycles, no? And then performing the bigram analysis, you have Vico tricycle and e-trike, and you can see some frequently occurring words such as request, maaprubahan yung tricycle, or pinaboran, and mailusot, no? So it already tells us how the people react to the accusation, no? Or to the unfairness of uh, the DILG, no? And for e-trike, you also have the same, no? Pinaboran, pakisabihan, no? So with that, we can say that the people brought issue of the ban of tricycles for emergency for Pasig City under Mayor Isko's Twitter account, no? And also there are some requests of using other modes of transportation such as jeepneys, so that the drivers, probably those who tweeted them, are directly or makes use of jeepneys as a source of income, no? And there are also suspicions based on the words such as pinaboran, aprobado, and then pinayagan to support the claim. And then the last major theme is the learner's dilemma, no? So this one is probably, as we all know, that the students, of course, one of the largest users of Twitter in Metro Manila, actually made use of Twitter as a platform for delivering their concerns and pleas regarding the uh, instantaneous transform from traditional learning to online learning, no? So they were shocked, um, they were culturally shocked with the immediate transfer or change in delivery of lessons, no? So you have there words such as please, connection, uh, cases, online, etc. No? So those are, we can say that those are majority of the tweets from students, no? So as you can see here, actual tweets extracted using the supporting topic words such as risking, hindi malinaw yung process, internet connection, and hindi makalabas ng bahay, no? So it gives us an idea on how students are trying to get some connection just to continue the classes, no? And with the bigram analysis, you have here the frequently occurring words, no? So you have classes is suspend, because they want immediate suspension of the classes, as well as for online, you have video, pinapagawa, risking, and makapag-exam. As well as for suspension, you have isipin and then cases, no? So analyzing the theme itself, as well as the co-occurring bigrams, you have the first one as students are pleading for consideration, especially for those who don't have internet connection. So we can see this using the supporting topic words as cases, online, better, and then capable, no? And students are usually having a hard time adapting and in performing assessments in an online environment. And this is supported by the topic words, makapag-exam, video, and pinapagawa. And then they're, of course, waiting aimlessly for an appropriate action or suspension, no? So you can see here some of the words such as isipin, could, suspend, etc. Now, in order to evaluate the integrity or the performance of the topic model, so we made use of the word intrusion test to evaluate the topic models, no? So usually for word intrusion test, this one is left out from the original article because I want to shorten the article as much as possible because there is a limit with the number of words. So for word intrusion test, we want to measure the cohesion or the coherence of each topic by adding an intruder word, no? So by adding the intruder word, we are going to ask subjects or respondents to find out which of the word is the actual intruder word, no? So if they are successful in identifying the intruder word, then it means that the topic itself, without the intruder word, is cohesive or it makes sense, no? So for example, uh, in the example as shown in the slide, so you have dog, cat, horse, apple, pig, cow. If we are going to add the intruder word apple, then and let someone guess the intruder word without the intruder word, then it makes sense, no? Without the apple, dog, cat, horse, pig, and cow has one subject, which is animal, no? So for this experiment, usually the intruder words are not just any random word, but instead, the intruder word will come from other topics, no? So for this evaluation, we have here, I managed to get 9 respondents to answer the word intrusion test. It doesn't actually have to be that many. So as long as you have the majority of the respondents agreeing on the same intruder word. So you can have 3 respondents, you can have 5 respondents, 7 respondents, etc. No. So for each topic, it managed to get the respondents managed to get more than 75% intrusion score. So it means that there is a strong coherence with the topic words. No. So you have topic 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of them are higher than the 75% intrusion score. Okay, so aside from getting the themes that are present as well as the co-occurring words, we can also get some entities or named entities present in the tweets, no? So we can use entity extraction uh, to get these information and probably to collect those tweets which have their own corresponding barangay number, no? So for entity extraction, it's one NLP task which aims to locate an entity from an unstructured text such as the tweets, no? So usually this one is defined with a category. So you can have person names, you can have locations, date, um, time, etc. It depends on what preset or information that you want to collect. So using regular expression, we can actually extract the barangay numbers and the corresponding complaint or report associated with it. No, so if you can see the tweets present under the account, there are patterns regarding reports. No, so for example, in the tweet shown in the example, usually you have the barangay space the barangay number, no? So we can collect this one using regular expressions by matching a certain regular expression to the text itself, no? So for those who are not from the technical side, we can use regular expressions, uh, reg, regular expressions or string patterns to search and match uh, a certain pattern with the given data, no? So for this one, I used BRGY as well as some variations of barangay plus space plus the barangay number, no? As a form of pattern matching. So in order, using the regular expression, we managed to obtain 1,856 tweets mentioning a certain barangay in their complaints or reports, no? So it means they are reporting, they are not afraid of mentioning the actual barangay name uh, in replying to Mayor Isko's Twitter account, no? So aggregating and collecting these tweets, we identified 45 barangays with a specific barangay number because in Manila, you have 867 barangays distributed across 4 districts, no? So we can actually use regular expressions to collect these barangay numbers as well as the corresponding um, complaint, no? So here you have an example of what I have collected. So you actually have the barangay number 33, 83, etc. And then the corresponding complaint associated with it, no? So for example, in barangay 33, according to the tweet, madami pa din pong tambay sa labas. For barangay 83, 500 lang ang binigay instead of 1,000. For barangay 96, hindi daw kasama yung nanay as a senior. at wala sa listahan, no? So we can actually get the whole aggregated tweets with barangay numbers, and then we can actually send them to the corresponding concerning barangays, no? So for action. So this one is the last phase for understanding the tweets that we currently have. So we performed uh, topic modeling for extracting the main idea of the tweets. We performed bigram analysis for understanding what words co-occur with each other in the context of several topics. So for example, in the topics of online classes, what words usually are present and co-occur with each other. And we also performed entity extraction for directly obtaining information such as barangay number mentioned in the tweets. No? So these are some NLP techniques that we can use to make sense of the tweets that we have. No? So what we are left now is we can use these insights to obtain or to have an audience with the local government and make data-driven decisions for improvement of their services. No? So the importance of these tweets, they are not just tweets, but they are data from or directly from the people of Metro Manila or people of Manila City. So it can be used, it's useful for uh, making decisions with the government because it follows the bottom-up approach. No, the data directly is from locals of Manila City. No, so what's next for this research? No, so we have conducted again understanding methods or understanding the tweets. So what we can do now is we can improve uh, the way of understanding unstructured text, especially tweet reports, into a large scale project or a research. No? So we can do temporal comparison or the change of themes, topics over time. No? So we can do, let's say, we will compare the themes before the pandemic, during, and then hopefully after the pandemic. So what are the changes in the themes and how do people coped and reacted with uh, each event, no? So aside from the temporal comparison or temporal analysis, we can also uh, make use of some social science theories, information theories that can be used as basis, no? So for example, in the themes present or in the co-occurring words, how can it be used as a support for some theories in information science or social science, no? For those who are from the social science side, no? And the third one is collaboration with other universities, especially for state universities for possible research opportunities, no? So maybe there's a difference between the themes that are in Manila City. There are differences with the themes that are present in, let's say, Visayas as well as in Davao, no, and especially in other um, regions, no. So we can do some type of collaboration on the change in themes and consideration with some factors that are present, no. And the last one is intervention and then policy development. This one uh, needs an audience with the local government, especially with Manila City, to improve its services. No, so they might find the result as useful, and they might consider is this one as um, another source of in making data-driven decisions. No, okay, uh, that ends my presentation. I am now open for questions, Doc Marik.
Thank you very much, Mr. Imperial. So thank you for the interesting talk on how NLP techniques and procedures are being used in collecting and analyzing tweets from Manila residents towards delivering efficient services to our countrymen in that area.
Yes.
So it's very interesting to see how these techniques are able to aggregate words, and from these words come up with major themes and also uh, necessary information on the people who do the tweets, and most importantly, delivering the concerns of the people to the respective LGU agencies so that their needs will be properly met.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that interesting talk, Mr. Imperial. Before we go to the Q&A, to everyone, you may now start typing in your questions. And let me announce to you the next in our series of webinar talks on May 27. I think that's next Wednesday. We will have this talk by Dr. Prospero Naval from the University of the Philippines. I think it's on reinforcement learning. And then also another talk by Dr. Ferdinand Pitagan of the National Teachers College. So that is what we will have immediately next meeting. And the schedule of the talks will be announced, but usually it will be around the same as what we will have today. So we have a first talk at 9 in the morning, and then we will have another talk later at 11 in the morning. So I hope you also registered for our talk at 11 this morning. It's very interesting using Apple on the alternative or flexible modes of learning. Okay, so we also have another announcement from the president of the Computing Society of the Philippines, Ma'am Rachel.
Thank you, Marek. I would like to announce to everyone that the Computing Society of the Philippines Special Interest Group. Do you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am. No,
Okay.
wala pa po. Wala pa po.
Okay.
Paki-share po.
Sorry. We would like to announce the research grants of the Computing Society of the Philippines. Sorry. We have launched the research grants for
Okay, Ma'am Rachel, can we just get back to
sorry.
you?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. So we'll get back to Ma'am Rachel Ramos for the announcement on the WIC Women in Computing Research Grants. So for now, let us go to some of the questions posted. So we have several questions here. Again, if you want to post a question, you only have, I think, 2 minutes left. And please indicate your name as well as the institution that you belong with. So for our first question, this comes from Ms. Heidi May Balsera from the University of Santo Tomas. So how do you account for fake tweets accounts that are purposefully written to damage an LGU's image even though their claims have no basis? Similar to how China tries to reshape the COVID-19 narrative.
Okay. Miss Heidi, the case for China is that the New York Times collected tweets from government, state media, and official accounts. And one of the main themes is positivity or optimism. However, they used the theme that they discovered and patterned it with the videos surfacing online on how China, that there was no hospital beds, there were no proper resources for patients in China. So there is a contradicting type of result. No, so locals were claiming that that the tweets of China state media and government were all lies. So we can say that there are some type of cover up that is happening with in the case of China. However, in the case of the Philippines, um, mostly the tweets are under Mayor Isko's account. So therefore, the challenge of getting or classifying if these tweets are purposely written to damage or to uh, destroy the image of Manila is very, very difficult, no? So the identification of these tweets, if it's only for trolling or a troll account or a bot account, is very difficult, and it's usually on the side of Twitter, no? So for this research, we assume that um, all of those tweets are directed towards Mayor Isko, and all of them are legitimate, no? Just because the task itself of identifying if the purpose of the tweet is to uh, falsify or to uh, tarnish the image is very difficult in itself. So already a challenge, no?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. Follow-up question ko lang doon.
Yes.
Do we have fake tweets? Or
For
may
fake
na-encounter ba kayo na fake tweets?
tweets, there are existing data sets on annotated fake Twitter accounts, but we have to consider factors of what makes a tweet as fake, no? So in itself is already a challenge that can be done with as research for the identifying if the tweets are fake or not.
Okay, thank you very much. So another question from Mr. Ralph Joseph Ligueran on the implementation of the bigram analysis algorithm. Are softwares using the bigram analysis algorithm specifically resource intensive? Does it consume a large amount of CPU and RAM resources, or is it better to run such softwares in dedicated servers or desktop workstation computers? Or will desktop workstation computers be sufficient? Also, can the algorithm be optimized using specific programming languages and or data structures? Medyo marami-rami yung questions. Yeah, okay.
Okay lang, okay lang.
Sige.
For the first part, we only wrote the script because our data is quite small, no? It's only 7,000. So it's not in the range of millions. That's why we did not encounter any difficulties with performing bigram analysis. So it will just take around less than a minute because the data is only small. But if you are going to perform some type of large scale collection, if your data is in the millions, then it will probably best to have a strong or for example a good computer to perform the tasks. And if it's possible, you can use some dedicated computers. And for the algorithm or used, what we use is just the implementation of the uh, bi-term topic modeling from the original paper. So maybe you can perform some type of optimization with the algorithm itself, but according to the original paper, it's already optimized, no?
Okay. So I hope that answers the question. And another question from Mr. Matthew John Sino Cruz from PSU Bayambang. I would like to ask about how did you handle tweets with emoticons and those that contain shortened or abbreviated words? Are there available sentiment lexicons also in Filipino? Thank you.
For the thematic analysis, we did not focus on the um, we did not focus more on the fixing or the normalization, but instead we just want to get the surface or the content words or the representation of the document. So for this one, we did not use emoticons. We just removed it because it's a part of the pre-processing for the emoticons. And for the sentiment lexicons, in Filipino, I think there are some initial works that are present that you can use for pre-processing, or if you want to conduct sentiment analysis with the tweets, no. But you can also use for sentiment lexicons, you can also use an adapted form from English, and you can change, or you can add some lexicons for Filipino, and then you can combine it, no. So because the data itself, some of them have a slight English words.
Thank you. Now, this one is from Miss Mylene Domingo of the University of Santo Tomas. How do you treat millennial wordings? Or siguro sama ko na rin, baka may mga Jejemon wordings na nandyan, no? Since millennials are very active in Twitter also.
Okay, for the wordings, we just treated it as is, no? Because the bi-term topic modeling captures those words if they are prominent enough for the topic. So as you can see from the slide earlier, there were some of them that were captured by the bigram analysis. So for example, usually millennials change A to E. So they usually say beke naman, parang ganon, and isko. So that's why it's already captured. If you get in the slide earlier, there were some millennial words present around some topic words, no? So we have the bigram analysis for capturing those millennial words.
Okay, thank you. Another question from Miss Eileen De Leon of Don Honorio Ventura State University. Did you encounter tweets which were written in native languages or native dialects? How did you
Native,
manage them?
since the collection is preset to the Manila City area, so I have their bounding boxes focus only on Manila City area. Majority of the tweets were in Filipino, no? So combination of Tagalog and English, no? If there are some of the dialects, or for example, there are some words that are not Filipino in English, if they are not frequent enough, then they will not be present as a topic words, no? So because we deal with distribution, they will have very, very low distribution to be included with top words or top supporting words for each topic. So they will be filtered out, basically.
Okay, so they will be treated like outliers.
Yes, if they are not
Okay.
frequent occurring.
So medyo related doon, no?
Yes po.
But before we go to that, let's go back to Ma'am Rachel Rojas for the announcement of the WIC. Ma'am
Okay,
Rachel.
as mentioned, yes, hi, thank you. As mentioned earlier, we have the CSP Special Interest Group on Women in Computing Research Grants. We are calling all women with ICT project solutions related to the COVID pandemic to apply for the research grant. We are awarding up to 5 women who qualify for the award for 10,000 each. This is supported by the ACM Women in Computing. The requirements are the following. The applicant should be a woman and the project leader of the project. The applicant should be a member of CSP, a faculty member of a Philippine HEI, which is not a CHED Center of Excellence, and currently not funded by any other organization. Kindly send to us. By the way, the deadline is today. So within the day, please send to our CSP Secretariat, Alfred, the following information. your name, name of HEI, the title of your ICT solution, description, classification whether ongoing or completed already, initial results or results, a website link, if any, and timeline of your project. The project will be assessed using the following criteria: a clear and focused purpose, well-designed plan or methodology, creativity, originality, and or inventiveness. The secretariat will request for a checklist so that it will help us in the evaluation of the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Rachel. I hope all our uh, female compatriots in research would grab the opportunity to do research with this grant. Okay, so we will continue our question and answer. So we already answered some questions here. Let me go to some more. Related doon sa question kanina is there are a mixture of tweets written both English and Tagalog words. So how do you address the complexity of analyzing these words or sentences?
For the English and Tagalog words, we use this as is, no? So it forms as a Filipino language, no? So with this one, we just left it as itself, no? Because as we know, Filipino is usually we already use English in our everyday communication. That's why we just left it as is, and it's also present with the bigram analysis, no? So you can perform some type of pre-processing wherein you will translate each of them, each English word into Filipino or Filipino word into English, but it will only arrive at the same result because we are dealing with the co-occurrence, no?
Okay. This is from Ma'am Annette Lagman, an esteemed member of the CSP. She is from the Universidad de Manila. Are there techniques for identifying tweets that need urgent attention?
Mm. For tweets with urgent attention, you have to look for, you have to curate or you have to preset a set of words that connotes a or pertains to immediate attention. So for example, alert, emergency, ngayon, ASAP. So you have to uh, get a set of words, and then while you are collecting, you can perform some type of matching while you are collecting, and then direct processing. So with that, you can catch those tweets that are needing with immediate attention, no? So usually it's more effective if you have an online live streamer of tweets, no, from uh, Mayor Isko's Twitter account. So that for each occurring words, pwede mo na siyang ma-match. If kung yung tweet na yon, it has the word ASAP, then it will be filtered out separately.
Okay, thank you. So another question is on the time complexity part. How much time? This is from Geraldine Padua of UST. How much time did you spend to complete the analysis for the tweets of Yorme? How fast did the analysis reach his office? Has the analysis provided help in making timely decisions in the pressing concerns presented?
Regarding first for the collection, it depends on your connection, Wi-Fi connection, and how long you want to connect. No? So for example, in my case, if I want to collect for, let's say, the whole month of March, then I have to allot, let's say, around an hour or two for the collection of the tweets. Now for the um, experiment itself, no. So using Bytom topic modeling, it's not really that complex if we are going to run it with our data. No? So it's more of around, let's say, 30 minutes or less, probably, because our data is only 7,000. It's very, very small. It's not that in the millions. So it's usually not an issue for time complexity. And if you're going to read the paper of BTM, it's already um, optimized, no? Other than that, how fast did the analysis reach his office? I don't know if it already reached his office because
Mhm.
I conducted this one at the end of March in or around first week of April in order to get the whole month of March for the collection. No? So we can have an audience with him if he wants to make use of the results as a resource. No?
Okay, thank you. How did you handle sarcasm tweets from Mr. Arturo Patungan of UST? So para bang meron bang classifications na this tweet is sarcastic, this tweet is non-sarcastic, and others?
For the sarcasm, it's really not in the scope of the research because what I want to do is to get just a representation of the data. No? So you can do sarcasm, you can have it a sarcasm identification before performing the bitem topic modeling to uh, filter out those sarcasms. No, but in this research, in my research, basically we did not have that as a factor, the sarcasm. We just left it as is. We are assuming that all the tweets that we collected are mostly reports and uh, complaints towards the mayor.
Okay, thank you. The next two questions may konting relation sila sa isa't isa. No? So first from Mr. Inocencio of the Asian Institute of Computer Studies. Is the study more related to web scraping? And your second part, is it legal to get some data from a social site, especially from some addresses?
Yes, for the collection part, it's similar to web scraping. Although we are not scraping articles, we did not use um, a scraper, but rather a collector of in the Twitter platform. No? So there are existing libraries, Python libraries, paid APIs that you can use to collect public tweets. No, so if it is legal to get some data on the social site, especially on the addresses, basically Twitter already owns every tweet it is published in the platform. So on our side, as a researcher, we have to be considerate. We have to be ethical. So we have to remove any information that can be used to identify a person. No. So during your collection, it might be useful to remove the username um, as well as the name of the user. No, so we're just going to use the addresses. No, we are not using it to identify a certain person, but rather giving us an idea of what is happening to that certain barangay.
Okay, so hindi naman napuput in jeopardy yung private
Yes.
information ng Twitter.
Yes.
So ito naman no, on kay Miss Maria Delia Raneses. By the way, this will be the last question that will be entertained. As I have said earlier, you have until 5 minutes after the talk to post your questions. So this one from Miss Delia Raneses of Legazpi City. Did you have to ask for Mayor Isko's approval to make use of his Twitter page or posts addressed to him? I think the relevance of the question is if some other researchers would like to make a local version of your study, do they still need to secure permission from the local government?
Actually, for the case of Mayor Isko, since he is a public figure, then you can use usually the conduct is you can use the his tweets to for your experiment. No, as long as you are not using his tweets against himself, then it's usually what is done for research works like this one. So since we just want to get an idea of not Mayor Isko, but rather those people who are replying to his post of what is happening to their barangay. So I don't think that we have to ask for a permission from the user himself. No, since he's already a public official or public figure.
Okay, so we're hoping na walang darating na mga legal complications as just a pure academic research na
Yes.
ginagawa natin. All right, so para bang maganda ring i-consider, no? Kasi 'di ba sa Twitter kayo nag-base.
Yes po.
Mukhang meron ding another battlefield naman sa Facebook. So marami
Okay.
mga post na set in public. Do you have some plans of doing the same analysis sa mga public posts in Facebook?
For Facebook, we have it's already hard to collect posts and comments from Facebook since the Cambridge Analytica scandal, no? So Facebook has already issues with APIs that collects user information, especially comments and posts. So it's very hard. It's nearly impossible to get Facebook posts than to get Twitter posts, no? So for Twitter, we are planning a large scale project on collecting temporal based analysis, for example, before, during, and after the um, pandemic. And we are hoping that there are some SUCs who want to collaborate with us with this project.
Okay. Sige. So before we close the Q&A portion, may I ask the panelists, or do you have questions also? Yung panelists natin. Okay, so I suppose wala nang questions. So thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Imperial, for your
Thank you,
interesting
everyone.
talk. And it's
Thank
very
you.
informative. So next time na magtu-Twitter kami, we will make sure that we put the appropriate and the appropriate words so that we generate the immediate responses.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
for the
everyone. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you po.
Imperial. For the participants, for your concerns regarding these webinars, like how do you become a member of CSP, we have announcements on the chat box. Okay, so I hope you scroll down the announcements on the chat box. Therein, you will find instructions on how to become a member of CSP, as well as how to access the videos of these webinars, and also the how you get the electronic certificate of attendance for these webinars. So I hope you just scroll down the information posted in the chat box. So with this, we would like to thank everyone for your participation. And we like to extend our invitation. There is another webinar at 11 this morning. The topic is entitled Remote Learning with Apple. So we still have a short break time to prepare for that. Okay, so until then, this is your host, Marik Neri from the Institute of Mathematics, University of the Philippines, a member of the Computing Society of the Philippines. Thank you.